Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the difference in sex drive and the lifestyle. And if you listen towards the end, you will hear what Jackie thinks about sex and how it's like a vacation from daily life. It's amazing. All right. Hey everybody, it's John and Jackie of OpenLove101.com. Welcome to our show. And today we're going to be talking about the difference in sex drive and the lifestyle and some misconceptions people have about consensually non-monogamous relationships and what it means. But before we begin, please sign up for OpenLove101.com. You'll learn about OpenLove 101 Plus, which is our membership-only site. And on there, we have this great thing we've been doing lately called Coffee with John and Jackie. We do it every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you join our private membership portal, Open the 101 Plus,
you get to join in.
And it's a lot of fun, really candid conversations. You need to check it out.
Yeah.
And to our show, let's see here. The first topic today that we're going to cover are the misconceptions of the consensual non-monogamous lifestyle. How people believe it has to do with sex and is not a relationship model. Because it's a lot more than just sex, isn't it, babe?
It is. I mean, yeah.
What?
I don't know.
Are you having a hard time with this one?
No, I'm not, but it's just, yeah, maybe. I think it bugs me. I think it's what it is, that it bugs me.
Because people do think that let's just use the word swinger, for instance.
Yeah.
They think that you're having sex all the time with all kinds of people, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And there may be some people out there, and that is what it's all about for them. But I would say the majority.
And that's okay.
And it is okay.
I don't know
and
why
that
there's
is
such
okay.
a hang up about that.
Yeah.
So
So it is about sex. So what? Sex is fun.
I mean, isn't that the one thing in like a traditional monogamous relationship? Isn't that the one piece of the relationship that makes that the relationship is sex? I mean, that's the key element to the relationship, is now you have this ability to have this partner that you can have sex with.
Well, that's a great point, because in
I mean, that's the whole basis of the relationship.
a lot of societies and religious marriages, unions, you're not allowed to have sex until you get married.
Right.
So that's like the exciting thing. Oh, I get to get married and have sex finally.
Right. And so then it's just like, you guys just have sex all the time. Yeah. I mean, isn't that kind of part of the thing with having the relationship? Like,
is being able to have sex.
Is being able to have sex and with someone that you want to. I mean, I don't know. It's so weird how you can turn something or shift something just slightly, and it can take on an entirely different meaning. Like, oh, I'm in this kind of a relationship, and so it's okay. But you're in this slightly different form of relationship, and now maybe it's not so okay because of what you're doing. But it's like, but I'm doing the same thing you're doing, and I'm just doing more of it.
Why haven't I ever thought about it that way? But that is so true.
I mean, I don't know.
It's like our clubs. So in a on-premise swingers club, people can go there and meet and mingle and dance and drink and have conversations.
Right.
And if they find someone there they like, or maybe just with their partner, they can go in the back to one of the playrooms and they can have sex back there. And some governments or people have a problem with that. But it's okay to have a hotel. You can own a hotel and have sex in a hotel, but you can have sex in your house, but you can't have sex in another building that's nondescript. And
I don't
know. It is weird how they can just tweak it just a little bit, and sex is okay in your own home or in a hotel or other places, but you cannot have sex in a nightclub. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad
well,
sex.
I mean, it's just this whole misconception that somehow the amount of sex I'm having makes me a certain kind of person, which is bizarre to me. because that's like being able to have sex is kind of part of the goal of getting married, even if it's for procreation.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you have to have, so I don't know. It's so interesting to me that we want to, like, sex in one space is okay, but sex in another space becomes questionable. I don't know. Anyway, that's why I struggle with this sometimes. Because they want to devalue the relationship model I'm in because of the amount of sex that I'm having or who I'm having sex with. Which is weird, because if you and I are in the relationship and you and I are both agreeing to it, what does somebody else care?
I don't know.
It's bizarre to me.
Yeah, but they do.
But they do.
You see it in comments we've had in some articles and on YouTube, on some other videos. And
why get married?
Yeah,
why don't you just stay single? Well, because I love you, and I want to be with you every day, and I want to be able to have sex with you every day if I want. But sometimes maybe I want to have sex with somebody else too.
And so then that's the other part of the relationship that we have. It's not just, our relationship isn't all sex. We have so many things that our relationship, we're best friends. Yeah. We watch movies together. We read books and we share about what we've read. We travel. We have family together.
We have a business together.
Yeah, we do a lot. We have a relationship like everybody else. I'm like, that part of our relationship isn't really any different than any other married couple's relationship.
No.
And that's the majority of our relationship. We spend more time doing those things than we do having sex.
Right.
And so I'm with you. What difference does it make? So, I mean, and the other thing is, most married couples, like, I've never asked our monogamous married friends about their sex life.
Yeah.
And yet we get asked about our sex life
all the time.
By straight people all the time.
I know. And then it's like, you guys just talk about it all the time. Well, it's because you ask all the time. And then there's that fear from those people that somehow we're going to want to have sex with everybody. But I'm like, okay, well, so then what about the couples that are in monogamous relationships that have sex with other people? Like, this isn't just, like, we don't corner the market on having sex with other people. No. And I'm not going to have sex with other people. Especially if that other person is in a relationship with somebody that's not open to this.
Yeah, they're being dishonest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What were we talking about now? I feel kind of like I got on a soapbox.
How people believe it all has to do with sex and not the relationship model.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And I think too, one thing that we don't discuss enough is that our ability to have this kind of open sexuality kind of puts us on a level playing field. So you and I both have the same kinds of advantages and rights within the relationship, which I kind of like. There's that respect that we both have for each other. And I like that as well.
I like that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then another one on this list of things that are misconceptions about the lifestyle is that people in a swinger lifestyle, open relationship model, polyamorous, have high sex drives.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a misconception or not, honestly. I mean, I think everybody's different. People have high sex drives. Some people don't have high sex drives. In monogamous relationships, they may have a high sex drive.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in strictly monogamous relationships where we had sex multiple times a day.
Yeah.
And where both me and the person I was with had, high sex drives. Has my I think with everybody, your sex drive fluctuates depending on what's going on in your life. Like, if I'm really focused on a project with work and it's consuming my mind, I'm probably not going to have the same kind of sex. Now, I'm a little different because I do think about sex a lot.
Yeah, for John, that's not a misconception.
I'll find, and no matter what my project is, I'll find something sexual in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, Jackie,
This something, something, something. I'm like, oh my God.
Let's go have sex. Yeah. So, but I just think it has nothing to do with the lifestyle necessarily.
It doesn't have anything to do with the
because there's people in the lifestyle that have low sex drives. As we get older, our sex drives, men, it goes down. I think as women, it goes down naturally, right?
It can. But even that doesn't hold true. I mean, here's the thing. Our sexuality, our desire for sex is just on a spectrum across society, and we're just a slice of that society. Right. So it doesn't, your sex drive is much higher than mine, but I'm in an open relationship and you're in an open relationship. So it's possible to have both of those things going on simultaneously.
Is my sex drive brother?
Yeah. Well, maybe not. You just initiate it more, and I'm always receptive. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I think it's really similar.
Yeah.
Probably I do initiate a little bit more than you do.
And I think that's good. This is the other thing. Like, if you have a high sex drive, that's great. It's good. That's good for you.
It is good for you, yes.
Yes. Unless it becomes something like super obsessive. You're always going to have a pendulum that swings one way or the other way too far, and you might need help with it. But having a healthy sex life is a good thing. Physically, emotionally, mentally. So
I have a new answer for this question from now on. When people ask me, so do you have sex all the time? I'm going to be like, yeah, so.
Duh.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm in a monogamous relationship. Well, you still can have sex all the time if you want it.
Right. Well, that's the other thing. It's like, it doesn't, why is my open relationship viewed as something as having sex all the time? And some other relationship model isn't. Like, we should both be having sex all the time.
So I do think there is an advantage to it. In a swinger or open relationship, a relationship where you are having sex with other partners besides your partner, variety can increase your desire for sex, or the difference in it can definitely, I think it does make a more sexually active relationship.
Oh yeah, because you can either come away going, oh, I want to try that with you, or I like having sex with you better.
Yeah. And then talking about it afterwards can encourage sex between us.
Yeah.
So I think being in an open relationship definitely does seem to lean more towards more sex, because you're having sex with other people. Every time I have sex with someone else, I have sex with you pretty soon thereafter, and vice versa, because we want to talk about it and it turns us on. And our conversation about the sex with other person blossoms into us having sex 100% of the time.
Right.
So, I think it definitely does encourage us to have sex more.
Yeah.
The drive, if I come across someone and there's like some kind of a chemical attraction there, a lust or a connection, it excites me as though the same kind of excitement I had when I was younger, it happened more often when I was going out to clubs and meeting new people all the time.
Yeah.
And so I think that definitely happens in this relationship model. And when we know it's okay for us to feel that way. If you're in a strictly monogamous relationship and you have those feelings, you have to suppress them.
Right.
Or you should, if you're going to abide by the rules of your relationship model, then you should suppress them or not think about it.
Right.
Then finally, the misconception that to be a swinger means you cannot be faithful to your partner and want to be with anyone you desire, regardless of your partner's feelings. And I suppose that could be true in a relationship. There's people out there that don't care about their partner's feelings. But I'm not down with that. Yeah.
Then we're not even talking about being in an open relationship.
Well, if you're doing it if you're being unfaithful, then it's not an open relationship.
Or if you're not taking your partner's feelings into consideration, then you've stopped being in an open relationship and now you're in a controlling.
Yeah, so I differ with you on there. I think you can be in an open relationship and still not have respect for your partner's feelings because you don't respect your partner's feelings. I think there's people like that out there. We've come across couples where developing or nurturing some kind of maybe poly relationship, and one person doesn't care how their partner feels, their primary partner, and okay, that's the way it is, but that's not who I am.
Yeah.
You know, when you see couples sitting at dinner and they're bickering with each other all the time, when you're out to a restaurant or something like that, and or friends that we have and they seem to do that often, I mean, that's not us.
Right.
So I think people relate to each other in different ways. Their relationship changes as the years go by and they do different things. And
That's true.
I get that.
That's true. Yeah, you can be in a relationship, but now how healthy that relationship is.
That's right.
That's true.
And it can be a monogamous relationship, or it can be a consensually non-monogamous relationship.
And
the same thing can happen. There could come a point in time where you discount your partner's feelings about certain things.
Right.
Because
that's a really good point, honey.
Well, it's just true.
Right.
That can happen.
Right.
Feelings can change.
Right.
Now, I firmly believe that if you're unfaithful to your partner, you're being, that's all that is. You're being unfaithful.
Right.
It's not something that Jackie and I condone in our relationship. Our relationship is based on trust and honesty, and everything that we do, we've talked about and agreed upon, and we share with each other, and that's what our relationship model is based upon. Is that foundation of trust and honesty.
Right. And being faithful, like, make no mistake, being faithful isn't just about sex.
No, that's true.
It incorporates every aspect of your relationship.
Yeah.
You know, so to cook it down and to just this one act, I think does a disservice to the entire relationship model.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being faithful is everything.
Yeah, I agree. And so it means you cannot be faithful to your partner. You absolutely can be faithful to your partner in an open relationship.
Yes.
Like I said, we are faithful and honest and trusting, and
yes,
and it's easy.
I mean, I have a neighbor even that, you know, I'm kind of the oddity in the neighborhood because I'm the only one that's open about what I do. Now, if there's other people within the neighborhood that are, you know, we don't know that.
I do know some.
But I remember, I remember this one friend, she sent me a text one day and she's like, you know, I think you and John have probably one of the highest functioning relationships in the neighborhood. And, you know, I really took that as a compliment, and she knows what we do. Mm-hmm. But she's able, you know, thank goodness she's able to see past the surface level stuff that people tend to automatically gravitate. They really want to over sexualize our relationship and just see how we interact with each other. And for her to take notice of that and then make a comment like that, you know, somebody who's not in an open relationship, and to respect and see what we do on a daily basis, you know, it's a real testament to our relationship model.
Yeah.
And every relationship model is going to have those stellar couples that really make that relationship model shine and look fantastic, you know, and then you're going to have the other ones and I was part of that group too, that just really struggled within the relationship model that they were in, mm-hmm. You know, whether it was because of personal stuff or the partner or a combination of that, you know, whatever it can be. But I think to say that one relationship model holds more weight than another one, you know, does a disservice to both of them. I mean, you can have a lot of different relationship models simultaneously happening, and they can all be great. And just because my relationship is great with John and we're in this ethical non-monogamous or consensual non-monogamous, swinging open, whatever you want to call it, relationship, doesn't mean that a traditional monogamous relationship is less than. It's just as wonderful.
It's just not as fun as ours. But yeah, it's still wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, they can all be great, you know. So, I mean, to say that people in the lifestyle automatically have this uber high sex drive, you know, we're just a slice of society. So that's not a true statement. Now, are we more open to having sex? You know, maybe that might be a more accurate interpretation. Like I view sex not as a task. I view sex as a form of vacation from life. It's that 20 minutes or an hour or a whole afternoon or a 10-minute quickie where I get to just let the world evaporate and I get to just focus on you and me and this sensory overload that comes with that. And I mean, that's a beautiful break.
That is.
Yeah.
Great point. Great point.
Yeah.
You guys, thanks for joining us today. Once again, please be sure and sign up to our email list at openlove101.com, where we will send you updates on our videos, blogs, Open Love 101 Plus memberships, travel stuff that we've got going on, and many, many other things having to do with consensual non-monogamy. So,
see ya.
Dang, I learned a lot from that video. Subscribe, and you can learn a lot more.